Now, I want to tell you something else about bacteria and viruses. I want you to picture this. In your city, the garbage collectors have just gone on strike. So you have had no pickup for your garbage in, say, 3 weeks. Well, your garbage can is overflowing, and what is happening is that you're collecting mice and rats and flies and all sorts of other vermin and insects because they feed on the rotting garbage. So it is rotting garbage that attracts the vermin that clean it up. If we didn't have those kinds of animals to clean up the mess and vultures to clean up the dead animals in the road, the world would be overrun with the carcasses of dead animals and all sorts of garbage. So these vermin are very important to clean up the dead and dying tissue. But let me ask you, if you see a dead animal in the road, did it attract the vulture or did the vulture attract the dead animal? Well, obviously, the dead animal attracted the vulture, the cleanup crew. It's the same way. It's the rotting garbage, the dead and dying tissue in the rotting garbage, meat and other things, that attracts the cleanup crew. And it attracts the rats and the mice and the insects. So think about this. It is the rotting tissue that attracts the cleanup crew, not the other way around. So we have all these things to clean up the earth. Well, God has given us a cleanup system for our body as well. And guess what they are? They're bacteria and viruses. Bacteria and viruses do not cause disease. Now, this is different from everything you have ever heard. And this goes back 150 years between Pasteur, who was the one who developed the pasteurization of milk, Pasteur and Beauchamp.
Are you saying it's not the bugs, it's the terrain?
Well, yes, it is. It's your immune system. What it is you damage your immune system by the way you live, think, act, eat, and handle stress, and you cause the dead and dying tissue. And we are covered with bacteria and viruses all the time. They're all over our skin. They're in our nose. They're in our mouth. They're in our gastrointestinal tract. They never bother us until we get our immune system in bad shape by not getting enough sleep, by eating too much sugar, by eating a bunch of processed crap food, or by being angry and triggering our fight or flight reaction, which pours cortisol into our body and suppresses our immune system. We give ourselves disease. And it's the bacteria and viruses that come in to clean up the mess. They are the cleanup crew, just like the rats and the other vermin and the vultures that clean up the dead tissue. We have dead and dying tissue in our body when we don't treat our body correctly by properly living, thinking, acting, eating, and handling stress. So we cause the disease. And it's the cleanup crew that comes in to clean it up. But when it cleans up the toxins and pours them into the bloodstream, and then those toxins sometimes give us a headache, and then we feel sick, and it gives us a stomach ache. It's the toxins that the bacteria and virus are cleaning up. Just remember, the pile of garbage attracts the cleanup crew. So as I say frequently, germs don't cause disease any more than flies cause garbage. Flies do not cause garbage. Garbage attracts flies. It's the dead and dying tissue in our body from the way we are abusing our body by the way we were living, thinking, acting, eating, and handling stress that attract the cleanup crew. All these bacteria and viruses that are in our body, in our nose, in our mouth, on our skin, don't bother us at all as long as our immune system is working properly. But then when we don't have enough sleep, we eat too much sugar or what, and then we have damaged our body, then the cleanup crew comes in to clean it up. But then we go to the doctor and get a drug, maybe an antibiotic or something, that stops the clean out process. So when we do that over and over again, first of all, the antibiotics that you take will wipe out the good bacteria in your colon, which are 33% of your entire immune system. So you can't fight disease. So when they talk about autoimmune disease, oh, your immune system gets too strong, and that's why you get rheumatoid arthritis and all these other things. That's baloney. That is absolute baloney. That's like saying, don't get too healthy, because if you're too healthy, you'll be sick. You can't have an immune system that's too strong. That's like being too healthy. It's a suppression of your immune system by the way you're eating, living, and handling stress. That is the problem, not that it's too strong. So doctors work at the wrong end of every single disease. Let me give you an example. If you have a child, 8-year-old child, who's very sick with the chicken pox, and the child has chicken pox marks in his skin, would you take that child to the surgeon and say, oh, cut out all the chicken pox marks in my son's skin so he'll be well? Well, no parent would ever do that. They know that the chicken pox marks in the skin are a result of a sick body. When the sick body gets well, the chicken pox marks will automatically go away. The problem is the sick body, not the chicken pox marks in the skin. They're a result of the sick body. By the way, it's the same way with cancer. And that's how I got well from 4th stage cancer. The cancer is not the problem. It is a sick body. And the problem is most people don't feel sick when they're diagnosed with cancer, but their body is very sick. Their immune system is very suppressed in order to develop cancer. And so the doctors are always trying to cut out the tumor, burn out the tumor with radiation, poison out the tumor with chemotherapy, all of which usually kills the patient before it kills the cancer. But what I did to get well from cancer is I changed everything about my life. Because of my work and because of things I was doing, I was abusing my body. I never drank. I didn't do drugs, but I was operating night and day, sometimes 72 hours straight. I drank a lot of coffee in order to do that. Because as a trauma surgeon, when you've got patients lined up outside of your operating room who will die if you don't operate on them or be maimed for life, you can't say, I'm tired, I'm going home. You have to stay there and do it. So I ate a lot of sugar. I drank a lot of coffee in order to stay awake to help these people, but I was destroying my body. And so what I did as a doctor, I knew doctors don't get anybody well from any disease. That's why I became a trauma surgeon. Because if you're run over by a truck, if you fall out a window, if you're shot or stabbed, you need somebody like me to put you back together. But that's not a disease, that's trauma. That's not caused by the way you live, think, act, eat, and handle stress. That's an accident. Doctors never get anybody well from diseases because they give you drugs, which cause additional diseases and only treat the symptoms, never the underlying cause. Or they cut off your body parts or cut out your organs. Well, I had breast cancer. I knew I didn't develop breast cancer because I had too many breasts. So cutting one or both of them off was not going to cure me. But doctors are all brainwashed, and that's all they know how to do. And so they work at the wrong end of every disease. And it's the same way with this. They're working at the wrong end. And they'll tell you, oh, have all sorts of cleaning agents in your house. And it's a good thing to wash your hands, definitely, with soap. You don't need all these other crazy things to do it. And because they're trying to work at the wrong end, what you need to do is you need to rebuild your immune system so you won't get the disease. But people are eating fast food. They're eating lots of sugar. They're drinking lots of energy drinks. They're destroying their body with a lot of coffee and soda and alcohol and anger and lack of forgiveness and not enough sunlight and not enough sleep at the proper time of night and not enough drinking water. Get your body well, and then you're not going to get the disease because germs don't cause disease. It's your sick body that you have done to yourself that puts you in a vulnerable position to get sick, and then the bacteria and viruses just move in to clean up the mess.